Good morning, everybody. I'm very happy to be here and very happy to see some old friends and get acquainted with some new friends. And I'm here for two additional reasons. First is to follow the good example of Dr. Henry Kissinger. Wherever he goes to share his vision about this important relationship, I should be there to echo him. Number two, to express my appreciation of and support to think tank exchanges between our two countries. Because China-US relationship is so important that in addition to government ties, we should have the support and participation of the general public and the intellectual input from think tanks of both countries. So thank you, President Wu, for initiating this important conference. And the theme of the discussion today is of pressing importance. The world is undergoing profound changes and confronting us with a growing number of security challenges, old and new, traditional and non-traditional. We still have quite a few long-lasting regional conflicts. And the resurgence of geopolitical conflicts is truly worrisome. We are also faced with the rise of international terrorism, extremism, proliferation, and mounting ethnic and sectarian conflicts. And in the broader sense, we're also confronted with such security challenges as cross-border crimes, climate change, cybersecurity, energy security, food security, natural disasters, and infectious diseases. And China and the United States, we are respectively the world's biggest developing country and biggest developed country. We are the world's two largest economies. Each has extensive ties with the rest of the world. So we both need an effective international order, the normal functioning of the global market, and stability in the world. So we do have common interests in addressing all these security challenges together. At the same time, both our countries are permanent members of the United Nations Security Council, and we are important players in the existing international order. So we have shared responsibilities together with other countries to maintain international peace and stability and bring about a safe and secure world for all. So, as Dr. Kissinger said just now, relations between China and the United States are key to global stability. And it is encouraging to note that communication and coordination between our two countries on security issues, bilateral, regional, and international, are making steady progress and becoming important building blocks for the new model of relationship we are developing. These issues are among the priority items on the agenda of high-level exchanges, particularly meetings between the two presidents. We also have effective bilateral mechanisms for coordination and cooperation, such as the strategic and economic dialogue, strategic security dialogue, and Secretary Johnson of Homeland Security Department has just concluded a very successful and fruitful visit to China. And the two militaries are also enhancing their interactions through confidence-building measures, high-level dialogues, and more joint exercises and training. We are working together, both bilaterally and multilaterally, on counterterrorism, non-proliferation, regional issues such as Afghanistan and South Sudan. We are also working together on the global challenges such as climate change, energy, food security, relief and prevention of natural disasters, and prevention of diseases like Ebola. This year marks the 70th anniversary of the end of the Second World War. Our two countries are also working together and alongside with other countries to maintain and reform the international order and to bring about better security for the mankind. So we should be proud of what we have already achieved. However, measured against the need to respond to changing situation and mounting challenges, measured against our great responsibilities to cooperate on these issues and the real potential for such cooperation, what we have already achieved is clearly not sufficient. We have to do more and much better. I think here the key is our mentalities and perceptions. Do we base ourselves on the new realities of the 21st century? Or do we still believe that the world could be run in the same way as in the 19th century or early part of the 20th century? Do we seek win-win cooperation among countries, or do we still play a zero-sum game? Do we advocate a new concept for security that stands for common, comprehensive, cooperative, and sustainable security? Or do we try to achieve one's own absolute security at the expense of others? Do we work together to build broad-based partnerships that will enable us to effectively confront the global issues for common interests? Or do we still keep a narrow focus on Cold War type of alliances that actually restrict the vision, reduce the choices, and will render the world more divided and less secure? These are the choices we have to make, and our choice will determine our future. For China, the choice is clear. We will continue to pursue the path of peaceful development and the independent foreign policy of peace. Although China is still the world's largest developing country and faced with tremendous tasks of reform and development at home, we are keenly aware of our international responsibilities and the expectation of the international community. We will make even great contributions to global peace, security, development, and prosperity as our own country continues to grow. As for our relations with the United States, we remain firmly committed to building a new model of relationship with the U.S., which is characterized by no conflict, no confrontation, mutual respect, and win-win cooperation. And indeed, we hope that America will make the same right choice. Break the constraints of unfounded worries, suspicions, or fears, and join us in this common endeavor. Actually, I don't think there is a real alternative to this. Our two countries have to be on the right side of history together in order to safeguard the well-being and interests of our peoples and help make the world a better and safer place for all. Nowadays, whenever discussions on security matters are held, maritime security is most often one of the priorities. So let me take this opportunity to share with you my own views on the issue, and particularly with regard to the situation in South China Sea. First, China's position regarding its territorial sovereignty is clear and consistent over many decades. Our position has not changed and will not change. This should be no surprise to anyone. While we are determined to safeguard our sovereignty and maritime rights, we also exercise best restraint in handling disputes with others. We will continue to do so. It would be totally unfair, however, to ask China to give up its legitimate rights and give in to the unjustifiable demands of certain parties. So let there be no illusion that anyone could impose on China a unilateral status quo. And let there be no illusion that anyone could repeatedly violate China's sovereignty without consequences. Second, China stands for peaceful settlement of disputes through diplomatic dialogue and negotiations. Together with ASEAN countries, China has proposed a dual-track approach on the issue of South China Sea. That is, negotiation and consultation on territorial disputes between countries directly concerned on the basis of respect for historical facts and international law, and joint efforts by China and ASEAN countries to maintain peace and stability in the region. This approach is in line with norms in international law and relevant international practices, and is supported by the overwhelming majority of ASEAN members. There is now ongoing consultation among China and ASEAN countries to formulate a code of conduct in the South China Sea. At the same time, China